Hello and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to carry on where we left you in the last one, which is just at the top corner of the triangle, and we're going to head all the way down into Rothwell today, and we're going to look at the Rothwell Station area, and I'll see how far we can get beyond that as well. So I just thought, while we're going back up again, I'll just show you another quick look at those steps that we found earlier on for the bridge that crossed the split point. And there's the bridge supports again. So I received an email off a very kind gentleman who used to live at the side of the tracks over here when he was a young boy, and all of his pictures as a child outside the house had the bridge that I was talking about in the last video in his pictures. So one thing I noticed when I was looking at the pictures was that the bridge was completely different. So the pictures that I showed you of the bridge were obviously the original bridge and much older. The pictures that he sent me were from 1965, he thinks, and they showed a much different bridge, or a newer bridge. So obviously by then it was owned by the government, or British Rail. It was privatised, or nationalised, sorry. The line was nationalised then, so they obviously replaced the bridge a bit later on with a different one. So those concrete posts down there, they could be from the original and also the new one, or they could just be the new one. I say new, it was 1960s that bridge was already there, so it must have been replaced 50s, early 60s maybe. So we're just making our way up towards the corner of the triangle, and I'm just going to talk to you about one more thing as well from the last video. So you may remember me mentioning another huge tower which was in the distance on a lot of the pictures that I showed you, and we went up into the banking at the side and I showed you a lot of bricks and foundations from where I thought that tower was. Now since then I've received a shed load of pictures of the line. Now these were all taken in the late 50s, early 60s, up to 1967, when the line was being dismantled. And it's thank you to a very, very kind gentleman who's an absolute legend called Darren Ward. And I'm actually meeting up with him next week to talk all things about this line, to see if I can get any more information so I can let you guys know as well. But he sent me some pictures. On one of them pictures, if I'd have just waited a couple of days before I put that video out, I could have confirmed what it was. But he sent me the pictures, and when I found one of them, it showed that building that I was talking about from very close. And it definitely, 100%, like I said, was a substation. So it was a power substation. And you can see all the power lines going into it and coming out the other side. So it definitely was a substation. And it was just up there, top of these stairs here, on the right hand side up there. So it was a substation. I don't think it was anything to do with the line. I think it was actually to do with the housing estate at the side of it. So it 100% was, and the location where I found the bricks up there was 100% correct. On the photograph it shows it right there, so it was there. So thank you very much to Darren Ward for them pictures. You've answered a lot of questions, and you're going to see the benefits of that throughout the next few videos, because there's a lot more I can tell you now about the next sections of this line. And there's also a few things I can tell you about the previous sections of the line that I've already filmed. So what I'll do at the end of the series, I'll probably do a follow-up video, and I'll just cover over some of those things that I missed out. So I am going to be able to show you some extra pictures today and in the next few videos to show you the extra things that I found through Derek's pictures. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Okay, so we're just heading down the line now. So this is the stretch where we haven't been yet. And as you can see, it's just a straight line all the way down. It curves to the right slightly as it makes its way around the bend. So we're heading down towards Rothwell now. It's probably half a mile, maybe more away, further down. And the first thing we're going to come to very shortly is a bridge. Now this bridge was called Thompson's Bridge. So when I get down there, I'll come back to you. I've just noticed as well, all along the side of the track here is the original fence and the concrete posts for the railway as well. You just look at the top of the banking up there. You can see the posts and the fencing. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so we'll carry on. Okay, so we're just approaching Thompson's Bridge now, which was halfway down between Rothwell and Robin Hood. Now what it is just a track that went from one side to the other, and it was mainly an agricultural thing. So there's rhubarb fields all around here, and also other vegetables and things like that. Now we are right in the middle of the rhubarb triangle. You've probably heard of that. It's in the Rothwell area all the way over to Castleford, and I'm not sure exactly where it is, but it's a big triangle where they grew a lot of rhubarb back in the day, and they still do now. It's still there now. So this track went from one rhubarb field to the other, and that's all it was used for, but it was always there, and it's still there now. However, I'll just turn you around so you can see it. As you can see, the bridge has now been removed. So up until 2017, this bridge was here. I'm just going to show you a picture of what it looked like. This was taken in 2015, so I'll show you a picture now of what it looked like. So that was the original bridge that was there from many years ago, probably maybe replaced along the way, but that's the original bridge. And then in 2017, I'll show you this picture. And as you can see in this picture, the bridge is starting to fail. It's sagging and it's about to collapse. So the farmer would have used it for vehicles across there, and I presume he wouldn't have done later in its life because it was too weak. So as you can see, the bridge is failing, but as you've got to remember, the bridge would be over 100 years old, and it probably hasn't been maintained since 1967, so it's over 50 years ago. So they removed the bridge, and yeah, they've just left it with the abutments at the side now. So it's a shame really, but you know, things do deteriorate. But you can see the nice stone blocks here, which is when I was talking earlier about the Matty Lane Bridge, and I said that they probably used those stones on the flower bed back there, which I mentioned in the last video. I'm pretty convinced that that's the case, because these bricks are the same size, the same shape, and they've got the same weathering on as well. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is just try to get up the bank in there so I can show you the bridge from the top. So if you don't see another video after this, then I've not made it. If you do, then I've got up there, so I'll see you in a second. So I've made it up the banking. Now it is a very windy day today, so please, I apologise if there's a lot of wind noise. It's very windy, and down in the on the train tracks it's sheltered, but up here it's not. So, right, okay, so we're right at the top. I'm just going to turn you around. And there you can see the bridge from the top. So it's just a track which comes from over there. It would have gone over the bridge here and down that way. So these were all rhubarb fields. They probably still are. And there's a few rhubarb sheds and things over there. So there's the bridge. I'm going to make my way back down there, and we'll carry on with the explore. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so we're just coming out into the open now. So we've left the cutting, and we're walking out into the open now. This is where on the track it would have gone from the cutting there, and it would have gone onto an embankment. Not a big one, but a gradual sloped embankment on this side. And you would have passed all these houses on the left, and then on the right hand side the embankment actually was quite steep. So I'll show you in a minute, but the embankment started off quite gradual, but by the end of it, it was quite a steep embankment on the right hand side. And that's because the valley dips to the right here, so the embankment got bigger, but on the left it's level pretty much. The estate at the back there with the red buildings, that's the Wood Lane estate in Rothwell. And then on my right is more fields, rhubarb fields. And just down there is what they call, I think, the pastures, which is like a little park area now. I am going to do a video about the pastures later on the channel, because there's a lot of history that goes on down there. There was an old manor that used to be there, there was a lake that used to be there, a castle that used to be there. And I'm going to do a separate video on them later on, which won't be anything to do with this series, but I'll definitely do a video on that. I've just found this on the right hand side. No idea what that is, but it's kind of a stone circle. It's definitely not a Stonehenge, but they could be, I don't know, they don't even look like railway blocks, they're just boulders. Just give you a bit of a pan round here. So as you can see, the valley drops down there now. So the embankment is to the left. It drops quite deep down there. It's that way. So just to give you an idea of how deep this embankment is on the right hand side, if you just look down there, you'll see how deep it is. So it's level on this side and then really drops down on that side. I'll show you again, look. See how steep it is down there. Again, I apologise if you can't hear me as much on this video because it is really windy today. I picked a good day to come out, haven't I? But it is warm, it's quite mild. It's January and it's fine. My hands are warm, it's not even, I'd probably say 10 degrees, 8 degrees, something like that. Okay, so we're continuing on what would have been the track bed. So I've just made it off track a little bit. The track is to my left up there. I've just made it down the bank a little bit because on the old map there was a signal box right in the middle of the two tracks. So where I am now, behind me, this would have been the colliery line which went to the Rothwell Haigh Colliery, which was just in front of me here. So the main line was up there, and then it branched off down here. So if you look behind me, you can see where it's split back there, and I'll go back in a minute and just show you. But in these trees here, right in the middle of the tracks, there was a signal box. So I'm just going to have a look in there and see if we can see anything. So there would have been a signal box right in here. Obviously these trees wouldn't have been here. And again, there's bricks all around here, as you can see. But I've got a feeling the signal box was made out of wood. So I doubt very much there would be anything left of it. But I thought there might have been a foundation or something. But no, there's absolutely nothing. Okay, so I'm going to head back to the split point. So this is where the colliery line left the main line. So this is the track bed here. As you can see how level it is. And it would have carried on in that direction towards Rothwell Station, which I'm going to get to in a second. The signal box would have been about here in the middle, and then the colliery branch would have gone in that direction there, because the colliery was just behind them trees over there. Okay, so let's see what else we can find, and I'll get back to you shortly. So somewhere around here there would have been another picture that I've got taken, and I'm going to give you a comparison again. Unfortunately it would have been taken down the banking down there, which I can't get down, so I'm just going to show you from back here. So I am pretty much at track level, whereas this picture was taken down the side. But if you just look in this direction here, so Rothwell Station would have been down there, and these houses here you can see just above the train in the picture. So I'll keep it there and I'll show you a comparison. So I'm back on the track bed again and I'm walking towards the station, which would have been right in front of me. I'm just going to take you to the right again to show you where the colliery branch line left and where the colliery was. So it was over here. Now again, I'll probably cover this colliery in a bit more detail in a later video, but for now I'll probably show you some pictures at the end of this one. So if I just turn you around, there you can see the site of the colliery. So the colliery would have been all around here, and you'd have had all the winding gear and the huge houses, buildings over there, and they were right on the edge of a sheer drop. It's like a steep drop where all the spoil had been thrown down, but it was also built up for the colliery. Okay, so back to where we were. So in this direction behind me, the line would have continued in a straight line, and there would have been a goods depot just halfway down here, and then the station would have been right behind it, and then it would have gone over a bridge over Wood Lane. So I'm going to take you down there now. As I say, all of this now is housing. So all these houses here are built on the old station, the goods shed and the track as well. So you're not going to see anything, to be fair, but I will show you where they were. But again, I've got another picture taken from about here. So I'll just stop here and show you. You'll see the goods shed on the right and then the station just behind it. So just about where I am now is the track bed. As you can see, there's houses on it now. Just pan around there, so there's houses here. I don't know what this circle thing is here. I'm kind of hoping it's railway related, but I doubt it very much. But I'll have a look on the old maps and see if I can find anything about that. So I'm going to head through the houses and find the spot where the goods station was. Okay, so you can see where we are now. The ground that these houses are built on is dropping gradually. So where I'm stood now would have been the original level of the track bed, and then it starts to go down there. So because there was a bridge at the end there across the road, they've obviously gradually depreciated it down to the roadside, but it would have carried on at this level across, and there was a bridge. So I'll just take you down here. So the goods shed that you saw in the picture, the building, would have been about here, where this circle is. So there would have been a huge square building, or rectangle building here. And the track would have run just to the right here where these houses are. So this would have been the goods shed. And then just a bit further down. So that would have been the track where them houses are there on the right, because the bridge was just in front of that. The platforms for the station would have been about here, where this bush is. And this bit in the middle would have been the station, obviously 7 or 8 feet higher. So the station would have been here. So I'll show you a picture of the station. So you can see it's quite level with the platform. So the platform would have been to my right and the station would have been directly in front of the camera. So this road here that you can see to my left, this one, this is the original station access. So like I said, the station would have been there, and this is the entrance to the station off the road here. There would have been tram tracks running down there as well. Huge tram tracks. But this is the original entrance road to the station. As you can see, it gradually slopes up there. So it would have gone in there to the station and then carried on up to the goods shed. So we're now on Wood Lane in Robin Hood. Sorry, I keep saying Robin Hood. Wood Lane in Rothwell. And I'm just going to make my way over here to the other side. So right there, where those trees are on that wall, would have been a bridge. So it would have been abutments either side and a steel bridge across there. Now, later in its life, that bridge was replaced with a modern one. It was strengthened, and they replaced it with a modern bridge. So you can see there, look. So this here is about where the tracks would have been, somewhere where this house is, or here. And there would have been a bridge right across here, and towards these houses here now. So I've just come off track a little bit. So back to this again. So the bridge would have gone across there, about where them trees are there. Like I said, it was replaced later in its life with a new bridge because they were planning on running passenger services when it was owned by British Rail. They were planning on running passenger services from Leeds through to the main line via this route. So what they did, they strengthened all the bridges and a lot of the tunnels and things. Well, I say tunnels, there wasn't any, but a lot of the bridges and the embankments, they strengthened them all to try help with the weight of the new axles on the trains and things. So that's what they did. So I've got a picture again at the end. I'll show you the old bridge and then I'll show you the new bridge. And sadly it got demolished probably 2 years after the new bridge was put in, so it never happened, and they just demolished it all, so shame.